Welcome to Enlightenment Unknown, Life of a Spiritual Nomad. Join Reiki Master and Quantum Healing expert Wes Coons as he guides listeners through the depths of self-discovery and spiritual enlightenment to uncover the version of you we haven't met yet. Hello and welcome back to Enlightenment Unknown, Life of a Spiritual Nomad. We are going behind the scenes of season 2 episode, I think it's 4 now, Wes.
Yeah, it is. It is. I believe it is 4.
Yeah, we're just cruising right along. So do you want to set up this episode a little bit before I get into the questions?
Yeah, we had a great episode. You know, we talked about the different times that I experienced Jesus, some of the messages, me receiving the golden armor of God, which was interesting. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, and if you have listened to that episode and you have any questions, please reach out to Wes on Instagram at VBHealer. Mm-hmm. And you can also find his contact information at vbhealer.com. That's the website for your healing services.
Yeah, and what's the name of your podcast?
How Good It Can Get, because let me show you just how good life can get. It can get really good.
Yeah, it can. Yeah, I don't know. Can it be great when you have kids that just irritate the shit out of you or what?
Yeah, you just have to learn how to move that energy into your to your benefit.
Yeah. So I went to Lakota's this past weekend and there's 5 little ones running around. That was fun.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I'm not used to being around 5-year-olds, so it was loud. They're good kids, though.
Yeah, and they'll tell you exactly what they think. They'll be like, "You're fat," and then they just do a cartwheel and walk away.
Oh, yeah, the kid told me, your new nickname is Old Guy Losing His Hair. And I looked at him, I said, your new nickname is going to be Busted Ass, so get out of here.
It's like they're not good for your self-esteem, I'll assure you that.
Yeah. So there's that. But the one mom said, hey, I think little Timmy needs some male interaction. Maybe you can work with him. And I was up the hill. I said, come here, boy. I'm going to put your ass to work. And she like scooped him up and took him the other way. So
that was too much.
That's male interaction right there. I don't know what to tell you.
You're like, what were you expecting?
Yeah, you want to be a man or you want to be,
yeah,
a 5-year-old and just play.
Come on. You act like you're 5 years old.
I know. Here, hold my hammer. You'll be fine.
Hold this axe.
Yeah. they were cute. They were fun. So we had a good time.
Good. Yeah. Good stories about the mountain.
Yeah. So you too can go to the mountain if you reach out. You know, there's a heart dance in October. And what the heart dance is it's a 3-day silent retreat where we do a sweat lodge and we go to the top of the mountain. We do prayers and stuff for 2 evenings. And it is extraordinary. It's fun. It's life-altering. And there's still some spots left.
Oh, my God. I would love to do a silent retreat. I've always wanted to do that. Like, as a single mom, silence is golden.
My favorite thing being married was a silent retreat. Yeah.
He's not divorced, FYI. So.
So, what questions do you have today?
Okay, so let's just get right into it. In this last episode, you were talking about a couple of different times about angels. Okay, so you mentioned that angels will come into the healing room with you.
Yes.
And you also mentioned that during one of these encounters with Jesus, you saw a vision of yourself healing people at like a big church and everyone had their own angels. So my question is, do you think everyone has angels that are assigned specifically to them, or just random angels will show up for you?
Both. So when they come into my healing space, I will be told how many there are, and I will be told how many are guides. So there'll be 1 or 2 guides. The guides are attached to you through this whole lifetime, and then the others are workers. So they're just random angels that just show up. The funny thing is probably 97% of my clients can feel it when they are there and touching them. And when they come in, I sit down. I don't stand next to the table. I don't do anything. They expect me to get out of the way.
Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah. So I always tease that they're like emergency room nurses. You know, they don't want you there. Get out of the way. Let me do
Right.
my work. And you sit there and be pretty. So I sit there and try to be pretty.
Now, do you think someone on their own could call in angels?
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Everybody has gifts. Everybody is connected. You know, if what the church says that he is your father, then that means he's part of you. That means you're, you know, connected to God.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah.
Okay, you also have mentioned quite a few times. You mentioned it once in this episode, but in a lot of other episodes, you've mentioned Reiki. And we know you're a Reiki master. But we also know that you're a quantum healer. So can you give listeners an understanding of what the difference is? Like, what is Reiki and what is quantum healing?
You know, it's two different healing modalities. You know, and some of the differences in Reiki, you open the energy at the client's head. And in Reiki, you channel the Holy Sacred Spirit that comes through you, through your crown chakra, which is the top of your head, into your body and flows into yourself or the client, raises that client's vibration, removes pain and things that shouldn't be there. You know, somebody who is extraordinarily gifted in this is Trinae from the Reiki Wellness Center. And, you know, she does and experiences things that I don't understand. And so Reiki, somebody asked me the other day, she said, I'm interested in it. However, how does it affect my Christianity? I'm like, well, I'm a Christian. You know, in my opinion, I don't see any difference between Reiki and the Catholic Church hands-on healing, except for it is the Japanese version of how the church, our church, lays hands on people and prays for them. You know, you might not hear prayers and stuff like that as you're getting your Reiki session. I do a prayer before I start. The basic prayer that a lot of people are taught is, Holy Sacred Spirit, use my body as a clear and present channel to flow through me to heal this person, or some version of that.
Yeah.
So I've tested the theory because, you know, that's what I do.
Right.
I've said, hey, send the fucking juice, bro. And, you know, I still get it. So I don't believe it has to be this perfectly worded thing. I believe this work is visualization and intention. My intention is the Holy Sacred Spirit is going to flow through me to heal this person. I'm not doing the work. I am the hollow bone, as Lakota would say, or the open straw, as Trinae or somebody may say. So if I am working on somebody and I'm thinking about the disagreement I had with my coworker or my child or my relationship, I am not a hollow bone. That energy constricts. And that's why you'll hear people say, oh, I'm tired after a healing session. You shouldn't be tired after a healing session. It's not me healing the client. It is the Holy Sacred Spirit. Then you add in quantum work. You open up the energy at your feet. The way I see my quantum work is, instead of pushing energy in to raise somebody's vibration, which I do, but I'll see something that doesn't look like it should be there. I'll grab and I'll pull it out. And it's just different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you did get your quantum teachings from Margaret, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And then Margaret's coming up on a special episode. So that's really interesting. And yeah, Trinae at the Reiki Wellness and Meditation Center here in Virginia Beach is just amazing. She is really, to me, someone that doesn't just talk the talk, she walks the walk.
She does.
Yeah.
She does. You know, she teaches us that healing takes an instant. It doesn't have to take years.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean something ain't gonna hurt for a minute.
Yeah.
However, I've been able to step through so many things and heal, you know, it's to the point where it's like, you know, you're healing stuff like this and moving forward and changing and shifting and changing and shifting and changing. And that's where, you know, we talk about, and I like to say, the beauty and the pain, or there's a version of you that we haven't met yet, and together we're going to find that version. Or, you know, I can't walk through hell for you, but I can walk through with you, and I know the shortcut. So we're going to fucking roll through this thing. Then there's some people that are so deep in their story of, I have to be this, I have to be the abused person or the victim or this. And it's not that their stuff isn't real. It's real. It's a choice. Now, I said that on Facebook a few weeks ago, that being happy is a choice or something of that nature. And I had two ladies that just obliterated me on how traumatic their life was. And I've never lost a child, and this lady had lost a child. I'm not going to sit there and debate that with her, but at the end of the day, it's still a choice. I'm going to choose to be happy today, or I'm going to choose to be fucking miserable beyond recognition. But it doesn't mean that choosing to be happy, there's not a sadness that you're still healing from losing something at a deep level.
Right.
You know, I don't believe we're here to suffer, if that makes sense.
No, and I agree with you. I think we're here to live a life of abundance in all areas of our lives.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like it, Wes. Okay. The next thing I want to talk about.
Wait.
Oh, jeez. Oh, my God. These buttons. Okay. The next thing I want to talk about is you talked about your healing space a little bit in the last episode, and how under the table you have crystals.
Yep.
And then do you still have like a small medicine wheel or no?
No, I do not.
Okay. But you do still have the crystals. I know that.
Yeah, I've got the crystals. This room that we're recording in right now used to have a medicine wheel in it. So Lakota took that down a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. And the crystals, though, I wanted to talk about that a little, because so many people, and maybe not the people that are listening to this, maybe you guys think differently, but I've heard so many people think, you know, I carry crystals in my bra. I
have a lot of people that I know, they'll pull their crystal out of their bra. I'm like, and there's that. And I'm like, okay.
Right? Like, thank you. You know, a lot of people, right? So I like crystals, and I have crystals on my desk at work, and, you know, you have crystals under your healing table. What do you say to people who maybe think that that's just crazy woo-woo stuff?
You know, everybody's going to believe what they want to believe. I hear people say crystals are the devil's work, and I'm like, you know, I don't know. If God created everything, did he not create the crystal? I mean, I don't know how crystals are created, you know, pressure and time and all this other stuff. But, you know, I find that some beautiful crystal under the ground is somehow demonic. I think that's fear, and I think that is people not understanding, and it's just not accurate. You know, the crystals that I work with, this sounds a little fucking crazy, but I can hear them talk to me. And the crystals that I work with have dragon energy in them. They look like the scales of a dragon. And when I find them, you know, I can hear them call to me. I can feel their pain. I can feel where they've been broken off of their family and they're isolated. And I use certain crystals in my healing space for healing. I've got a lot of stuff in my home that are decorative. I don't hear them talk to me, you know? And so I don't remember, was it you a couple years ago? We were at the crystal place. I was with somebody and at the pavilion or whatever at the beach. And I'm like, I hear this crystal calling me from the other side of the store. You know, there's like, you know, 1,000 people in here and I could hear it.
Wow.
And I forget who I was with, but you know, it took a minute to find that fucking thing, and I bought it too.
Yeah.
You know, I held it. It had the dragon energy, and you know, there was another one there that I could hear, and the energy didn't feel right. You know, it wasn't that it was demonic or anything silly like that, but it didn't resonate with me. It didn't fit with my healing modality and what felt right. So, Lakota says that your healing crystals can't be purchased; they have to be gifted. Well, you know, it's 2024, and, you know, I do it my way. So, you know, if I see something and it resonates with me, I buy it.
Yeah.
But I've got this one, and its name is Crystal, and it is my favorite one to play with. It's cool.
Is it at your healing space?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. So it is the center one that I have in there, and it's huge. I mean, it weighs like 12 pounds.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I'm glad you spoke on crystals a little bit because, I mean, I don't know, just more and more I find that they speak to me, and I like hearing that. So
Yeah, they're interesting, and Spiritual Relics sells them. There's a place down at the beach at 17th Street that is a big crystal shop. I don't go in there very often, but it has a lot of stuff. And then the pavilion, they've got like a traveling like road show of crystals that'll come through here, other places.
yeah.
I seen one on TikTok where, I mean, the lady was standing next to a crystal that was probably 5.5 foot tall. I don't know how much that would cost.
Yeah.
Holy crap. And then, you go down the Edgar Casey up on the second floor. Don't they have like these giant crystals in like a meditation room or something?
I don't know. I've never been inside.
Yeah. These things are like 250 pounds
Wow.
each. And then you have one at, what's that grocery store down off of Laskin Road? The hippie fucking store.
Oh, Harris Teeter?
No, not Harris Teeter.
Oh, Heritage?
Yeah, the Heritage. They've got one that's like 2.5 feet across. It's huge. At
Wow.
least it used to be there.
Yeah.
And yeah, the hippie fucking store.
That's cool. So I think my last question is, why do you think you felt compelled to do this episode about Jesus now? I find it interesting that the last episode was so dark and painful, and it was about the exorcism.
Yeah.
And I find it interesting that then this episode was about it's like a compilation of all of your encounters with Jesus. And I have to say, before we recorded, Wes told me, this is going to be a fun one. Okay.
Yeah.
And
It was.
it was fun, but it was still very emotional. But I feel like those two episodes were emotional in different ways. And was that like a conscious choice to have those two episodes placed back to back?
Every time we sit down to do the show, I've got notes. I've got pages of notes. We could talk about anything. There's so much stuff still to do.
Yeah.
There's so many things still to go. And I know we're bouncing back and forth, but I go where I feel directed by Spirit, by God, I what feels right. When I selected this one, I did not even really contemplate that the exorcism was the last one. I don't know. It just wasn't there.
Yeah.
So, that episode was so freaking painful for me. And I thought it was interesting how painful it was because, I've told that story a few times and, there just wasn't this depth of pain. But one of the things I do in this show is I allow myself to connect back to that day, to that energy, to, I could feel the walls, I can feel the floor, I could feel the chair, I could see the rats, I could see everything. And, I am there. I've traveled back to that. So, the pain, the sadness, the whatever, the joy or whatever is going on that day for that episode, I'm feeling that as I did 5 years ago.
Right. So,
that episode, we didn't record for 2 weeks. I couldn't record. I need to take a break. And, after the show, the behind the scenes, would you ask one question?
Yeah.
Maybe two?
It was a lot. And I don't know if it came through quite like it came through in real life. But, at one point, I didn't want to do the behind the scenes. And I was like, Wes, do you even want to do this? Because the pain that you were feeling was palpable. I did not want to contribute to that pain.
Yeah. And yet you do every day.
Wow.
Yeah. And, I agonized privately for a minute, when season 2, you and I took a break for a couple months.
Yeah.
And, in the back of my mind, moving forward, I was trying to figure out how to move forward, what to do. I wasn't following God's plan. I had stuff going on. In the back of my mind, just to be honest, now that I think about it, is that episode was haunting me. There's so many things that we haven't discussed that happened. So many instances where I'm sitting in the camper and I see these demons in the house, or I'm in there trying to think about going into your home and sticking a 2x4 in the door because you're fucking terrified that if the 2x4 is not there, they'll shut the door and lock you in. And you're in the first floor shower, showering as fast as you absolutely can, not even letting the water get hot so I can get in and out. And you're running out the door terrified. That was every day. That was every shower, every day. Having this big, beautiful home that was costing me, I think my mortgage was like $5,000 a month. It was, not saying that to brag, it's just what it was. It was this beautiful home. And here I am locked in this camper and fearing for my life and not able to stop that. Or you take a picture of yourself with your shirt off and you see these demonic faces that are on your skin. That was every day for me. Every day it was a level 10 or a 12, and we're not even talking about that stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's too much. I mean, it's just, hell, the fucking podcast would be 17 seasons and we ain't even got to July yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been interesting. So I enjoyed this one. It was fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I really did. And I hope all of you guys enjoyed it. If you have any of your own questions about this episode, or really any other episode, right, Wes? Reach out to Wes on Instagram at VBHealer, or go to vbhealer.com. That's where you can contact him there, or if you want to do a healing session.
Yeah. And go find your favorite crystal and enjoy yourself. One of the things you could do is set them outside when there's a full moon. Well, let me clarify that. One of the things you can do with your crystals, if you don't know, is you clear them. You could put them in a full moon. The full moon will clear them. I don't know why. Or you can get a piece of selenite and put your crystal on top of that, and it clears the energy and just resets things. So there's lots of fun things that you can do.
Yeah, and I think you were telling me once, like, maybe we can talk about this in a future episode. Isn't there a way you can connect your pendulum to your heart?
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
You can connect your crystals to your heart. And maybe what we can do is we need to make a note of that, and I can teach you how to do it. And I did that with a healer friend of mine, Julia, the other day. And she'll be on the show probably next season. And so it's interesting that you can make a heart connection with something that is a stone or a rock or whatever. But that energy, if you are connected enough, you can actually hear them speak to you. It's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's fun.
Yeah.
So make sure you go get your crystal and go have a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Wes, thank you. Do you have any last parting thoughts or words?
I just want to say thanks. It's been fun, and we'll see you real soon.
All right.
All right. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to Enlightenment Unknown with Wes Coons, your guide on the quest for self-discovery and the version of you we haven't met yet.